All right, so before we go, we wanted to share an update related to the superintendent search. Obviously, this is a really critical decision or process for our district. And the Board of Trustees, if you've had an opportunity to watch any of the meetings where this has been a topic of discussion, which has been pretty much all of them, so if you've tuned in at all, hopefully you recognize that the Board of Trustees is committed to having a really inclusive process with a lot of stakeholder involvement to make sure that we get to the very best candidate for superintendent for our district. In searching for the best possible candidate, the board did contract with a search firm, JG Consulting, and James Guerra, JG, is the primary contact for this work. He's spent a lot of time in our district so far, and for example, this week he was here doing a variety of stakeholder meetings. He had 3 days of back-to-back meetings to garner input on what folks are looking for in our next superintendent, what things we can celebrate about our district so that he can use that as a part of the recruiting process. And then, of course, have folks reflect on what challenges we're currently experiencing, which will help inform the types of candidates that might be the best fit for this position. We had a community forum, and so staff, community, students, everyone was welcome to attend that at Trainer Middle School on Wednesday. Thank you, Reagan, for hosting us at Trainer Middle School. And then we had an online forum last night that we had some participation in. There will be additional dates scheduled in early January after we come back from break. And I know that James is, if he hasn't already, reaching out to all of our associations and different employee groups in the hopes of scheduling more stakeholder input meetings so that then what he can do is aggregate the data from the online survey and all of those open forum conversations and build a profile for the ideal candidate for our superintendent. That information, that report or that summary will be shared with the Board of Trustees in the first meeting in January, which I believe is January 14th. And so in the meantime, what I would ask of all of you as a part of this super important process is to participate in the ways that are best for you. So attending forums, you can reach out to James directly. I can circulate his email to this group, and you can provide feedback that way. There's also the online survey that you can link to from our website. And so please take those opportunities to provide your feedback, but also please encourage your staff to get involved as well, because like I said, this is a super important decision, and we want as much information available as possible to inform the type of candidate and recruiting that he does. So in terms of timeline, what it looks like right now, in kind of general terms, a more specific timeline will be presented in January, but the feedback gathering process is happening in December and January. Then he'll present to the board on the 14th the summative report of his findings, and then very soon after open the application period and begin his proactive outreach to candidates who might not otherwise be thinking about this opportunity, but that he thinks might be a good match for the position. That will happen in the February-March timeframe, that sort of recruiting and screening period. And then in April, we're hoping for the interviewing process to begin. Once the top contenders for the position are identified, obviously there will be another input process that begins. So there will be opportunities for staff and students in the community to interact with the primary finalists with the goal of having a candidate selected toward the end of the school year, ideally in the May-June timeframe, so that they can move here and transition to the district and begin to get to know what we're working on ahead of the next school year. So it's all happening very fast. I think the most important takeaways right now are that we want to make sure we get as much input as possible. So if you haven't participated, please do, and please encourage your staff and families and students to participate as well. So off to level time we go. Thank you.